I was very ashamed of my life story for a long time. I didn't want to go out and tell anybody shit about me. So that's why I had two people. I created one David Goggins and one Goggins.
Right.
And I didn't want people to know that I had all these issues. But after a while, people start to give you these different taglines. Like, you're superhuman, you're amazing. I'm like, don't know anything about me, man. I'm this insecure kid. I started realizing there's a lot of people out here who are going through a lot of problems that I once tapped into. I had a whole bunch of issues growing up. And, I felt compelled to just, you got to start sharing this stuff, man, because people see where you're at today. They see where you're at today. They see the man you are today, this rock hard human being. Show these people where you come from.
Right.
Show these people it's possible. Like, I see where I'm at today, but I know where I come from. And it's kind of hard to almost separate that. I'm almost, not in a way I'm kissing my own ass, but I'm amazed at what a human being can actually do. So when I start talking to myself in the third person, it's strictly because I know that I literally made this human being out of just like a whole bunch of scraps.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't, I wasn't a mechanic. I wasn't a carpenter. So I didn't know how to do any of this shit. Mm-hmm. I wasn't trained in how to build a human being from nothing. Like, my mom didn't train me. My dad didn't train me. Life didn't train me. Well, life did train me.
Yeah. Life
did train me, correction. And I started putting this scrap metal together. I'm like, I wonder what for the first year I tried to do is all And after a while, I started learning more and more and more through pain and suffering. I started learning so much about stuff. Before I knew it, man, I built this beautiful car. And I'm like, how the that? And I knew how, and I know how to do it because I have all the tools. Through all the failure I went through trying to build this person who's Goggins. Mm-hmm. The one thing that made me who I am today is being vulnerable. It's breaking myself down to the absolute rock bottom and being able to tell people who I am. And that's how I fixed it. Literally, being able to look somebody in the eye and say, you know what, man, I have a whole bunch of character problems, character flaws. I've lied about this. I've cheated here. I'm insecure here. This isn't the real me. I lied to you about that. I wanted your acceptance in life. All those things happen, but the thing about it is that we get judged so quickly by who we are. We don't know. We don't go to where it happened. Life created this person, me. Life created me to be this person that I was back in the day. And I had to realize, man, that's okay, man. It's not my fault. Now I gotta go back and fix this shit, though. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this isn't your fault, why you do some things you do, why you feel the way you feel. But no one's coming back to save your ass. You have to go back to where the shit started, wherever that place is for everybody, and have the courage to go back there and start fixing what broke you. And what's funny about it is that as you're trying to fix yourself and dig yourself out of this deep hole that life, society, and you helped also, those people who you saw down there in that hole who were there with you, who were your friends and people who you counted on, because you meet the people in the same situation that you're in life. Those people become your friends. And the second you try to get out of that situation and become better, those people are in that grave, in that dungeon, just yanking at your heels, man, saying, oh no, come on back, fucker.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna make me feel like shit by you getting out of this hole.
Who the think you are?
So I get that all the time now. People would constantly remind me of who I used to be back in the day. And they always come out of the woodworks, man. You know what? When you come from a small town, and you come from a place that a lot of people don't want to come out of it and get out of it, and all you want to do is become somebody, small town mentality is a real mentality. You've got to be able to get out and let your mind see open-mindedness. Because a small town, what it does to you is it closes your mind. Completely closes your mind. Not everybody. This isn't everybody. A lot of people. You have to be able to go out there and create open-mindedness. You need space. You need space to see the world. Like a lot of racism, a lot of ignorance in the world, it comes from people not being out and seeing other things, seeing other people, seeing all kind of shit. That's why we judge so harshly, because our minds are so closed to the reality of life. I went back to Brazil a couple times, and I have nothing wrong with Brazil. Because once again, another thing about growth is you can't hold on to hate. Mm-hmm. You can't hold on to hate. And see, once you take a different step, so I had to take a step out of my life, because once you're in that hell, that's all you see. is what's in front of you. When I stepped out of it, I saw Brazil very differently. There were a lot of great people in Brazil. Some of the best people I knew were from Brazil. But when you're in hell, all you see is a little patch in front of you of the kids that are calling, of the people that spray paint to kill you on your car. People put that shit in your locker. People put that shit on your notebook in Spanish class. That's all you see. You didn't see that, my God, a lot of people like me here. So once you take a step back and see the reality of the true ignorance that you're dealing with from a small group of people, that's when you get growth. Because, you know, I went through a phase in the book I talked about, man, I was all about black and only black when I was a junior in high school because I was so beat down. I was the most ignorant I've ever been in my fucking life when I went there. I totally took everything, all the hurt, all the pain, and just put it in one filter. I gotta find people who look just like me and act just like me to find acceptance. I was a fat guy trying to be a Navy SEAL now, and my life had come to this crossroads where I'm like, man, you have to go right. And no one was going right. Everybody was going left. I'm like, you have to go right. And to know the pain and suffering I was about to endure by going right, the amount of accountability and failure I was going to witness and suffer by myself alone on this journey, it was daunting. So when I finally got to the ASVAB test, and I was taking it for my very last time to get into the SEAL teams, or to even try out, they weren't supposed to tell me my score. And I went back out to my car after I took it. I was on some computer test, and I didn't know how to use computer. I was wigging out about that shit because the first time I took it was like some notebook. You know, you open a Scantron sheet and you bubble it in with the number 2 pencil and shit. You turn it in. I saw a computer and I was like, oh, what the shit? Oh my God! I'm like, it's on the computer, so I wigged out there, and I had to get a 50 on mechanical comprehension. This is my second time. So I took it 3 times for the Air Force and twice for the Navy. So this is my second time for the Navy. And they're like, hey, this is it, man. You know, you're done. You're too old. You have a limited amount of time to lose 106 pounds, and you have to take his ASVAB again. There's so many things that's crunching down my head. And so when I took the test, I knew I had a good enough score to get in the Navy, but to be a SEAL, I had to score high on mechanical comprehension, a 50. So the first time I got a 44 on mechanical comprehension. So I'm sitting there and I take the test and I hit send. Sent meant it's out in outer space somewhere, but I knew it popped up at the administrator's desk. And he's not supposed to tell me shit. He tells you sit down, take your test, and you leave. I walked out, got in my car, or I was walking around the car, whatever, and I was like, I gotta go in and find out, man. So I went in, I literally sat there. Everybody's taking their test, and I'm begging this guy. And he's telling me, I can't tell you shit. It's against government, it's against rules, everything. Right. He opened it up, he goes, okay, man. He said, you got a 65. I said, no, man, I didn't know I got a mechanical comprehension. And he scrolled the page down, and it was exactly a 50. And I literally, like, what came through my body, because it's easy to talk about it now to you, but no one knew the time and energy I put into getting that 50. Right. It was pretty amazing. At this time, I was still 200 and some odd pounds. I still had more weight to lose. So think about this. I put everything on David Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. It's like going to the crap table with your last $1,000. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna put everything on this, on black. And hopefully I'll win. If not, I'm broke. I put my whole life, a guy that was scared of the water, a guy that could taught himself how to read and write, on being one of the hard fuckers on the planet. Think about that shit. A guy that came from nothing. I put my whole life, and I'm gonna go out here and put everything on David Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. Not to go fucking, you know, Boy Scout or some shit, a Navy SEAL. And I look at that, and I did all this shit just to get the opportunity to succeed. That's what people don't fucking understand, man. You know, people see the end result. I remember that guy saying, my God, man, I can't believe what it's done. I put everything, ruin relationships, ruin this, ruin that, put everything on. In fact, I have to become someone in this world, or I'm no good for anybody. It comes from a disgusting place of not being fulfilled in your life, of afraid of dying, having never accomplished anything. That's a fear that some people run away from, that people don't want to face. When you have a real fear of dying and being just another person. That I live to pay the bills. I made $1,000 a month. This is my life. I spray for cockroaches, man. If that makes you feel good, that's great. It didn't make me feel good. I wanted to, the first time in my life, after 26 years, it was 24, 25, whatever it was, I wanted to feel good about myself. And that was the ticket for me, is I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now. So before I went to Buds, and I was losing all the weight and shit, I saw myself walking across the fucking stage at 191 pounds, 'cause that's what I had to get to get into the door. I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever it's gonna take me to do it, I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there at 300 pounds. And that feeling that I was nowhere near that feeling, I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is gonna feel amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this fucking next 18 months. It took me 18 months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through Buds. 18 months, it's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every fucking morning, was I'm gonna put myself through this much pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. And it's so worth it, man. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start to say, how are you gonna feel at the end of this?